Ciao dear hearts, I'm Caterina, and I'm so happy to have you back in the studio with me today. And I want to thank you so much for all your thumbs up, your comments, your subscriptions, and your shares. It really helps out our channel. We so appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And today we're going to be flipping through my travel journal. We made it last time, and this time I'm going to just flip through and show you. You had some questions about the envelopes, and I'm going to share with you my technique for creating this little framed embellishment on the front cover. So stay with us, we'll be right back. Well, as you can see, my little travel journal that we made last time is kind of chock full and fat. And it was only a week, the trip, but still, I got a lot of wonderful things in here. And I keep a travel journal because I want to remember what happened. I want to remember what was going on. And I want to look back and say, oh, that's right, I remember this. And so anyway, I just thought I'd give you a quick little flip through, and I'm going to share with you all of the little envelopes. This is just a tiny, tiny little white envelope. I wanted it to look like an old book, so I used some antique book pieces to embellish the pages. This is another little envelope. It's just a little paper bag. And I did a variety of techniques in my journal. I did collage. I did a lot of water media, and I put a lot of water media together. So I used just watercolor paints, and I used Inktense pencils, lots of different collage techniques. I did a lot of writing and wrote about where we went and what we did. I love these little fold-out pages in my journals. Kind of obscures the text a little, but also, you know, they're pictures of where we were at on that day. So I love the way it turns out. This is one of my favorite pages. Is this little khadi paper, this painting of the beach, and I just love that. So. Anyway, we spent a lot of time on the ship too, so we had time for writing and for drawing and for painting. Here's another little pocket right here, little glassine, and yeah, I love the way it turned out. Lots of shells. And remember, if you remember, here's another little pocket. These are the tiny little shells that I picked up on the beach. And I was going to put them in the front, but I just loved this little pocket so much. I've had this for years and years, and I thought this would be the perfect place for it to go. So it went right into my journal. And then another piece of old book paper, and that's it. So let's talk about this embellishment, but first let me share the envelopes with you. Okay, these are just simple coin envelopes. I think you can probably get them at the bank, and they're just easy peasy. I love them. I've got several of them, and I just use those a lot. This one you can pick up at any craft store. It's just like a little tiny, tiny little paper bag. Super easy, lots of fun. And this is a glassine that usually stamps come in. You know, you can pick up glassines in different craft stores. And the tiny, tiny ones, I hate to tell you this, but I got these at a garage sale a long time ago, and I don't know where you can get these. I don't even know what they were used for, but I just thought they were adorable, so I bought them. So there you go. That's the envelopes. And so now let's talk about the embellishment. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to create this little embellishment to hold your countersink, any kind of object. I mean, you could countersink, you know, a shell or a fleur-de-lis or a flower. I mean, anything could go in this little space, this little niche, I call it, or it's actually just a little cutout with a frame on top of it is what it is. But the first thing you're going to need is just plain old cardboard, and then you're going to cut a piece out. And I have templates that I have cut. They're old, you can tell. I've used them over and over again. To different sizes. This is a 2x2, so that I don't have to measure, because you know how I hate to measure. So I have them already cut. So cut a piece out that will be perfect for your book. So whatever size book you have, if you have a mini and you want to make a tiny, tiny one, then you're going to need something smaller. So this is going to be your substrate. And we're going to cut through this, but we're also going to use this as our frame. So I chose this. It was an old book cover. Actually, it was a box that held some cards in it. It says the People's Illustrated something or other. Can't read it. Anyway, I just loved it. It's old, antique-y, grungy. It's just perfect. So that's what I used to cut it out. So you're going to cut out another 2x2 piece or whatever size you're going to use for your book. And then we're going to simply measure, and I have just another one right here. You're going to measure, hope you can see that, where you want your starfish or your three-dimensional piece to go. Now, I did it just slightly smaller so that I could poke the ends in and it would stay kind of stuck in there. Just in case it slipped, I didn't want it to come out. So it's actually, the little feet are stuck inside the cardboard. Okay, so you just draw that line wherever you want it to be. And then you simply take your straight edge and just create lines across. Hope you can see that. So you're just going to make your square. Okay, just where your lines are. Right about there. And there. Okay, so once you get that done, then you're going to cut it out. Pretty simple, huh? Okay, so we'll set it there. We've already got one that's part way cut. And we're having this wonderful rainstorm today. So in case you hear thunder, you know that we're really filming here today. It's lovely. It's nice and cool today. It's been kind of hot. So you just take your X-Acto and just finish cutting it out. In fact, I'm going to just use this old book and to finish cutting it. So we just finished cutting this out just like that. And it's, if you want to take a now you have another piece to use for something else. If you want to sand this down with a nail file, go right ahead. But you know how I like grungy, so I didn't do that. And now you have your frame. And your frame is going to go on top of your cardboard. Okay. Now we're going to glue it together. We're going to cut it and glue it together. And first I'm going to use a pencil so that I know where I am. Okay, so basically you're just going to cut it out. And sometimes it helps, it depends on how old your cardboard is. Sometimes it helps if you get it wet, because then you can kind of just scoop it out of there, you know. Now you don't want to cut all the way through because this is your substrate, remember? So you want to make sure that the backing is intact. So you're just going to peel it out of there and throw it away. Okay, so this is going to be really boring watching me do this. So we're going to come right back as soon as I have it all cut out of here. Okay, so we've got it. We're getting after it here. And you just want to make sure that you don't rip it. But you know what? If you do, you can fix it. It's no big deal. Mistakes are always opportunities for embellishment. Mistakes mistakes are opportunities to cover things up. Okay, so we've just created the depth that we want for our little starfish. There we go. Let's see, which way does he fit now? There we go. So right about there, I'm thinking looks pretty good. He's gonna just nestle right inside there, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue our frame down. Now, you could paint this. I'm gonna leave it plain right now until we figure out what color we want to make it. But we're just gonna glue that right down, and then we're gonna put our little starfish in. I think I'm gonna put him in this way because I love those little ribs that are showing. And I'm just using Gel Matte Medium by Golden, and that's in my links. Okay, so just glue him in. And I think we're gonna paint him white, so I'm gonna get the white paint. Okay, so I just used a little bit of Titan Buff to paint just around there on the back. Just wanted it to stand out. Okay, and then I can't decide which way I like it. I think I might like it like that. I like it kind of leaning. It's kind of cool. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you the technique for the inside, which is using this tissue paper. You can use any kind of tissue paper. I just used this because it matched my colors. And you just need really small pieces. And you just want to use a little bit of gel medium and water. Get your tissue wet and then just mold it into place just like this. Then you're going to cover up your cardboard. You can see that. I hope you can see that. Okay. And you just continue that way. So I'm just going to rip up some pieces and we're just going to poke it in there. So then when you turn it on the side, you're going to be able to see that writing, and it just looks so cool. Now you can use any kind of color you want, any kind of tissue paper, anything that's soft like this. It's just going to just cover that up, and you're just kind of molding. You know, you're just kind of molding it into place. And well, I guess you could tell we are having a big thunderstorm today. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up. Okay, so I finished getting all the tissue paper on. And you could have done this earlier. You could have done this before and then poked the starfish in. So, you know, you have a lot of options with this little technique, but basically you're just molding it all together. Okay. I think I like it like that. All right, now to finish this off, we're going to use some twine. Okay, so we're going to finish it off with some twine on the edge. You could use anything. You could use ribbon, you could use some kind of cording, I mean, whatever you want. But I'm just showing you how I created it for my little travel journal. So there's a lot of possibilities with this. You can just really have fun with it. But just finishing it off so that it looks a little bit more polished. It still looks rustic, I think, but so fun. So fun. So use this technique for anything you want. I love how the little starfish is nestled in there. Now you could put a background of the tissue paper back there. You could put something else. You could paint it a completely different color. You know, like I said, just have fun with it, just play. Okay, so it's still wet. You're going to want to hold it down and just keep it kind of clamped so that it stays together. And the two ends I brought together. If you want to tie them or hide them behind, you can do that behind each other. That's fine, but the glue will end up holding it, the matte medium. Anyway, so that's how you make it. You can put anything inside it. You can just have a really good time with it. It's a piece of coral, anything that you want to countersink. And you know, if you did cut through in the back, you could always put a backing on it. So don't worry, just play and have fun. Well, we're at ciao for now, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed the rainstorm. You could hear all the thunder going on. We needed the rain, so that's awesome. And next time we film, we're going to be working on natural dyes again. I know so many of you have written to me and asked me questions about it and about making them color or light fast. So we're going to do some experiments with that, because I do live in the Sunshine State, so I have plenty of sunshine, and we're going to do some color fasting. We're going to play with some new fruits and vegetables, and we're just going to have a blast with it. So I can't wait to see you then, and until then, ciao for now.